Well, I just found out like 10 minutes ago that I'm supposed to do this. And he said, talk for 5 minutes or so. And I said, guilty? Do you know who you're talking to? An hour. I've never been able to finish a thought in less than an hour, and if nobody stops me, it just keeps going. And anybody who watches me on YouTube knows that rabbit holes are my favorite place. The rabbit holes. The one thing I'm not, though, it makes me feel a little pregnant, pardon the expression, in this room, is I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything. I'm not anything. I never got any letters behind my name. But what I have been is the single most curious person on the planet Earth from the time I was this big. I needed to know why. How come? And I never was satisfied with an explanation because I would dig deeper. Why? And I learned at a very young age the art of separating fact from things that are reasonable and make common sense. And everything that we do, has to make common sense. It has to have a root, and that root has to be believable as well. Here comes the conflict. The reason that some of us doubt this. Maybe we're very religious. Maybe we're being told, well, according to our evolutionary pathways and our belief in God says, that's not true. That can't be, we discount it. We don't have open minds, we have ideologies. And that's the greatest barrier that I've seen in trying to help people understand what I think is the actual root cause of these problems. Because if you don't find it and you don't settle and figure a way to overcome that, you're spinning your wheels. You'll do what I did for 75 years. I've been low carb since 1972 when I read Robert Aitken's first book. I've been a health nut for 75 years. But I've always been bouncing between 150 and 210 pounds. Up and down, up and down. I invented the roller coaster. Honest to God. I never knew why I couldn't sustain this for life. I knew all the principles, I knew the science, I learned evolutionary biology, I learned biochemistry, I learned paleontology. I studied all that stuff. All those things that Ken Berry says that he studied when he woke up, I've been studying from the time Ken Berry was born. And I understand that, and I keep looking for the answers. I can't be a doctor, but they've been calling me professor all my life because I love to teach. I love to teach and I love to help people. But all I can teach you are things that I have personally witnessed and experienced and can speak to that aren't secondhand information that I become the expert because I heard so-and-so say it. So I'm not an expert. I don't want to be called an expert. I was humbled when Kelsey says to me, we want you to be an expert. I said, well, I know. I'm a comedian. You know, I'm a comedian. Like Rodney Dangerfield, you know. I was in rough shape yesterday, but I'm okay now. You know, I mean, that's what I like. I'm a closet comedian. So what I try to do is not disagree with anybody, not fight with anybody. Merely tell you, look, been trying to do this for 75 years. I learned that no matter what I do, I can lose the weight. No matter what I do, I will put it back on within 3 months. Because I'm a carb addict. I am such a raging carb addict that I cannot control it. I can't, never could. Lose the weight, hey, I'm there, celebrate, let's go have a pizza and some ice cream. And 3 months later, 200 pounds again. It wasn't until I found carnivore, no carbs, abstinence completely from carbohydrates, like an alcoholic has to abstain and like a drug addict has to abstain, you will not cure your addiction. And for people like me, that's what finally did it, getting off the carbs. I think my timer counted down. Kelsey wants me to go. I told you, I warned you. Don't get me started.
Old guy, Carnivore Mitch, on his morning lives, you must. He's quite entertaining, but he's sharing stories that we all love to hear.